I got to find out how to get some royal free music. So listen, guys, again, I want to continue from earlier. I did about 9 minutes earlier. I want to finish this up because I'm looking for your comments. I want to know, what are you passionate about in your life this season? What it is. I left some tips. I gave you some insight of how to even determine that in the first part. So if you missed the first portion of this particular question prompting, because this is what life coaches do. This is what even counselors and therapists do. You know, we ask those powerful questions that will invoke some kind of thought and get you to become very introspective about yourself or a matter, a thing, person, whatever. But I want to know, because the few people that I've been speaking to recently, that is the main thing that is on their mind. They want to live a life of passion, meaning they want to do something that makes them feel good and give them a sense of gratitude, accomplishment, achievement, purpose, so they can feel more fulfilled in their life. Some people feel like they've got stuck in a rut or routine, or they did something because that's what they were told they were supposed to do, or they was only supposed to work and do nothing else with their life after. Like there's no life after work. It's just waking up, going to work. That's it. No socialization. That is very important for our mental health, for our emotional health, for our relationship health. If you don't have any social skills, that's going to spill over into your professional relationships. If you're working with people, or if you have a business, how can you relate to others if you don't have good social skills, if you don't keep up with some of the things that are going on? And then you need to be able to get out and explore. And I just had this conversation with my daughter actually the other day. We were talking about how it's so important to be exposed to different people, different cultures, even reading and learning how to, you first of all, you get to broaden your vocabulary, your understanding. We was talking about how you learn to think more critically about things, about people, about matters, having more of an understanding, having insight, and how you learn from being around other people. And if you've been a person who's been almost like, what's the word I'm looking for? Not isolated, but kind of isolated, disassociated, but there's another word I'm looking for, like a recluse. You just by yourself. And again, you're just doing the regular, go to work, come home, pay some bills, get gas, maybe go to church, maybe, but don't even socialize there, go to the store. And that's your life. That is boring. Do something. Even the things I do, like with my side business, when I do my vending events and pop-ups to conferences and those things, and I get to socialize. I'm a part of groups on social media. Oh my God, there's some other things I'm just a part of, and I get to socialize. I get to learn from other people. I get to hear other perspectives and other insights, and vice versa. And even with ministry and those spiritual connections, you need to connect with people, period. So you can learn, so you can grow. And that is what I have seen that is missing in people's life. People, like I said, I've been coaching or just having conversations with lately. And that's what's missing. And believe it or not, when you start to make those connections and socialize and open yourself up to those other activities and things, life after work, after business, or after retirement, or just maybe you're a stay-at-home parent and that's all you've been, but there's no outside. You're missing on potential opportunities. You're missing out on potential blessings, connections that are going to mean something to you, that are going to also be beneficial to yourself. So think about that. Think about how you may be missing out on something because you're not making the connections. So whatever you have to do, if you need to pour into yourself and educate yourself as far as, I know, in terms of socializing and what that takes, little steps that you can make to open up the door. So I'm not saying you have to be this real extroverted person and embrace, because everybody's not built that way. And some of us, we can develop into that. Start with a few, 1, 2, 3 people, connections you may make. First of all, you have to open yourself up, like I said. Find social groups. Find a group of interest, something that you have in common with other people. It can start from that. It could be a group on something regarding your health, mental health, physical health. And I'm telling you, there's almost every type of group on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, even TikTok. I'm not on anymore. I just disconnected from their fan base. There's so many other sites you can go to and networking groups you can go to, and you can find some group that have the same interest that you have, or you deal with the same issues. Connect with somebody on there that will open up the door to something else. I'm telling you, you find out information. So you may be lacking information if you are just by yourself, like an island, like you don't need anybody. And sometimes trauma do this to people. I know because I'm a trauma focused coach and I do trauma focused counseling every day. And I know a lot of times if you've been in a traumatic or you've been held captive by the effects of your trauma for so long, you have to relearn socialization. Like I said, you have to relearn how to connect with people. So that's why I say start with something small. Find a group. Now you have to be intentional. I always talk about this. You have to get sick and tired of being sick and tired of the same mundane, boring life. And you're wondering, oh, I'm just bored. Then you need to go back and look, what are you doing that is consistent, but not serving you? It's not doing anything. It's not serving you. It's not doing anything different in your life. It's not bringing any peace, any joy. What is that? What do you need to change? What do you need to break up to make a change? What do you need to be intentional about? Look, if you need to work with a therapist to help you with this, do that. If you need to work with someone like me, let's set up some sessions. If you need to reach out to some other type of life coaches or any kind of mental health professional, whatever, please, or spiritual leader to get you to make these changes, do that. Even that is making a connection. Working with somebody is going to help you make connections. And then whatever resources and information they have, take advantage of it. Save your life. Really. Mental, emotional. Decide that this is going to be the year of change. Transformation is what you need. This is what people need. People are looking for transformation. And that's what my channel is all about. Spiritual, emotional, mental, just relational transformation. And yes, I talk about purpose. I talk about even when it comes to some entrepreneurial things, transformation all across the board. So go back and watch part 1 to this. And then for those of you, you may have seen, let me see. You may be seeing this and haven't seen part 1. Go back and watch part 1 so you can put the two together and see how they correlate. Because I left some good tips on there as well. Things for you to pay attention to. And I talked about looking at the signs of the times. But I'm telling you, everyone that I have met, what I see that's consistent, that brings them a sense of peace, purpose, is their passion and is having a sense of purpose. Even if they don't make a lot of money, they say they feel great because they're doing what they feel like they are called to do, what they are purposed to do, what connects with their core values. It is so important to do things that's aligned. I talk a lot about that here. That's aligned with who you are as a person, because there's a connection. It clicks. It's like the dots connect. You're like, but I'm pouring out from a place that I'm connected with, that I'm aligned with. And that feels good. That gives you that sense of meaning. Wow, I am doing what I'm gifted to do, or what I'm talented to do, or what I'm strengthened or skilled to do. It aligns with me. And when you do that, it's like you operate from a zone of genius, right? And it comes easier to you because it's aligned with who you are. I'm telling you, I have another episode on that as well, about making sure that you are doing things that align with who you are as a person, with your core values. Because when you don't, there's always going to be this sense of emptiness. Something's missing, and there's something you're lacking, and that's what it is. And you'll find out that maybe you've been performing instead of fully operating with with authenticity. You have not been operating with that because you're not really fully being yourself. And a lot of times we find these things out anyway as we get older, right? A lot of times we do start out life doing, I got to do this, I got to do that. This is what society says. These are the things that my parents talked about, but they may have missed, because a lot of them came up in a society where they were just taught, go to school, get that good job, or just finish high school and go straight to work, or go to college, and that's it. Not about living a life of fulfillment and meaning and purpose and passion. A lot of us didn't get that part, and we understand that we're not even blaming them for that, right? A lot of them came out of a time of survival mode. Okay, like they just been living that way, only struggling, straining. They found a way to cope with it. Now, if they had the fortune of doing something that they love to do, right? Maybe that job gave them a sense of peace and purpose, then that's a good thing, right? But if it have not, they only did it because they was in survival mode, and they stayed in that place of complacency and habit. But now you are going to be you're the shifter. You're the breaker of that routine, of habit, of survival mode. You're going to do something different. And then that's going to shift the next generation, right? So we continue to regenerate. We continue, as we go through this life, to continue to go forward and maybe we have to break some things, right? Maybe you're the generational curse breaker, whatever, right? I'm just saying, right? And so think about all those things when it comes to your purpose and your passion. But think about you. Living a life of purpose and passion is self-compassion, because you deciding to do something that serves you, help you to serve others. Again, live in as your authentic self. It feels so good. It's reassuring, from one. And when people I have worked with come back and tell me how I'll help them in some kind of way, and it did something in their life, and it changed their life, it changed their mindset, it changed their spiritual some kind of way, if I poured into them, it's reassuring to me of that I'm operating in my authentic self. Authenticity is like a twister. And it's reassuring to me. And it makes me feel good. Like, thank you, God. I may have needed to hear that. Sometimes I can feel like, maybe I need to change. Maybe I need to. And it's like when someone says that to me, I'm like, okay, God, then if I just need to be refilled and renewed and revived, Lord, then do that, God. And that'll become my prayer, because I still love helping people. I still love serving. I still love pouring into people. I still love ministering. I still love counseling. I still love coaching. So God, if I just need to be renewed and rejuvenated, that's why people take vacations. They get away. They practice self-care. They take a moment. They fast. Whatever that looks like for you to practice self-compassion and self-care, we have to do that. We have to be refueled in life, so we can keep going, because sometimes it does come. You do sometimes feel discouraged, or you feel like you're drained and you're depleted, right? And that's another benefit of socialization. You can get refueled and revived by connecting with other people, by linking up with other people or groups, right? So that's how you need to, for the rest of your life moving forward, please self-prioritize. Please reprioritize. Some of you may need to reprioritize your life. Make sure you are on the what's what I'm looking for? I was going to say task list or list to do. Make sure you're on there as well. Make sure you're on the calendar, because we put all of the tasks on the calendar, but we leave ourselves out of it, like self-care, self-management, mental health, self-compassion. Make sure you list those things. So because it's getting dark out here, I'm getting ready to sign off. But again, this is part 2. And I think I'm going to leave it at that. I don't need to put it all together unless I decide to upload it, because this is live, unless I decide to upload it as a separate video, okay? Be blessed. Be blessed. I don't know why it feels like a Friday. I was about to say have a wonderful weekend. It kind of feels like a Friday right now. I don't know why. Anyway, you guys be blessed. I'm telling you, I hope you take heed to some of the things I'm saying. Look, everything doesn't apply to everybody. What do I always say for those who follow me? Eat the meat and spit out the bones. Eat the meat and spit out the bones. Be blessed. Talk to you later. Bye-bye. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to comment. I want to know, look, this is the homework assignment, but you're going to do it on this channel. What are you passionate about in this moment? Because I would love to come back and talk about it. Or maybe have you come on and we can talk about it and before other people, because you'll be helping somebody else while you are in the hot seat. Okay? All right. Bye-bye.